Perfect. I'm gonna shut my door.
Okay. All right. Well, ladies, thanks for having me. It's really sweet. To me, this is a really fun way to end the weekend and kick off a week because it's sort of like a reset for my brain. And when I get to help train on and problem solve with things, it helps me a lot in my own personal business. All the levels of leaders do exactly the same as every brand new consultant. We all book parties. And we all run into exactly the same problems and struggles that anybody else does. The really great news is that the only thing that's hard in this business is booking parties. That's it. The rest of it is fixable, doable, learnable, practicable. This is the thing, because it's emotional and it often puts us in a negative headspace. It sometimes feels like the part that is the most difficult. And so what we want to talk about tonight is how do we change our mindset about bookings so we have a better outcome, and figure out what are some of the key components that maybe we're not really cluing into, that could make a big difference in all of your efforts. Okay. So you all indicated a minute ago that, well, and Betsey and Andrew, I'm not sure because I can't see your faces, but the other three ladies indicated that they don't have all the parties that they want for August, which is, I don't think I know anybody who has all the parties. There are very few people who have all the parties they want for the month of August, and that's okay. So I want to start with a question, and this is a participation part. Let's make a list, and if you have paper in front of you, and if you can, let's make a list of what are all the reasons that a woman might want to have a party. Let's talk about that side of it first. I'm going to write them down as we come up with them.
Double jewelry this month.
Oh, well, true. Yep. Okay.
I was going to say to earn free jewelry.
Okay. Earn jewelry. In general. Yep. Okay.
New jewelry.
Sorry, say again, Kelly.
New jewelry.
New jewelry. Love it. Okay. Great. What else? Why else would a woman want to do a party?
Getting with their girlfriends.
Get with girlfriends. All right, I'm writing these down. What else? What's fun about getting with girlfriends? What's fun about that?
Hanging out and having fun with your friends.
Hanging out and having fun. Okay.
Forgetting responsibility.
What?
Forgetting responsibility for a few hours.
Responsibility. Yeah. A little mini mental vacation. Okay. June, what did you say?
I was kind of what Carrie was saying. My one party that I did book for the end of the month is she just had a baby and she's like, I just want to have some girl time.
Girl time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. What are some of the other reasons that somebody would want to do a party? There are more. How about they just love to entertain? Some of them just love to have their friends. They just love to open their home, put out a spread. It's who they are. It's the hospitality part. Right?
Why she do that?
Oh. Hospitality. Maybe they like to cook. It's not a pampered chef party, but maybe they just love to cook for their friends.
Jill's couldn't get on the call tonight, but I remember for her first party, she's an entertainer, and she loves to do it. That's why she had a party, just because she likes to entertain.
And look what happened. She went to leader. Mm-hmm. So for her, it wasn't even about the jewelry. It was because she wanted to have her friends over and cook for them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. What about they want to be the first one to show it to their friends?
Good.
They want to be the first one.
Be the first one.
Want to be the first one. Okay, so double jewelry, earning jewelry, getting new jewelry, because these are all a little different, and depending on the person, it's going to ring differently. Hanging out with girlfriends, having fun, forgetting responsibilities, mini mental vacation. Maybe it's a celebration. Maybe it's a housewarming. Maybe they just moved, right? Maybe she's getting married. How about engagement, bridal? Just moved, renovated the kitchen, new kitchen. Loves to entertain, is hospitable, always wants to have her friends over, loves to cook for her friends, wants to be the first one to show it to her friends. So think about it, all these reasons that women would want to do a party of any kind, but especially with Touchstone crystal, right? Now I want you to think about this. I want to shift gear, keep those things in mind, but I want to shift gears a minute to this concept. There are two concepts that I'm going to contrast and compare. One is offering all of these things, and the other one is asking for a favor. So if I go to Carrie, and I know Carrie, and she's sort of a friend, right? She lives in my town. I wish. Oh, how I wish. So, but we've been friends. I kind of know her. And I say to her, hey, Carrie, it's Betsey. I just started with Touchstone Crystal by Swarovski back in the spring. And I'm really looking for more hostesses. And you get a bunch of free jewelry. But I really need some help getting the ball rolling. Would you like to help me? Right. And so Carrie's mindset might be, oh, poor Betsey. Poor girl. I feel so bad. She's starting this new thing, she needs help. And you know what? Yeah, I guess I could help her. It's Swarovski. So, even if I get a couple people over, I'm helping her. And anything I do is going to be a help. Right. Or she might be like totally ignoring me, going, if I just ignore this, it'll go away. Because I don't want to help her. I just don't want to help. Contrast that with, hey, Carrie, it's Betsey. I don't know if you realize it, but I started with Touchstone Crystal by Swarovski back in the spring. It's an absolute blast, and this jewelry is gorgeous. August get-togethers give the host twice the free jewelry. How about a little mini mental vacation for you and your friends for a couple of hours? Cocktails and crystals? ? And then I send the link to the catalog. So let me ask you a question. Who was the first one about, and who was the second one about? Right? Big difference.
Yeah.
Big difference. So when we make it about us, it's a whole lot harder, because to us, it goes to our self-respect. It goes to our sense of need. And it feels kind of humbling to be asking for help. So what if we got off of that mindset and shifted to this long list of the reasons why women would have a great time booking a party and pulling it off and having a blast? What if we think about and keep that list in front of us and use some of those key components when we're reaching out to people? We have a neighbor who loves to cook. She's always having the big family reunions over, and you say, hey, Susan, it's Betsey. I just started with Touchstone Crystal by Swarovski, back in the spring, and I'm having so much fun. You're the girl who always loves to cook for everybody. What would you think about getting a bunch of your friends together, and Touchstone Crystal is the excuse? And you can try out some of your new fall recipes or your favorite summer recipes as we're wrapping up summer. What do you think about that? We could call it barbecue and bling, right? So what we're trying to do is put her in a mental headspace of where she sees the benefit and the fun of pulling this thing off, as opposed to the, oh, poor Betsey, I've got to help her, right? Any thoughts about that? How that would be helpful?
definitely helpful. I know I used to have that mindset where I would do the first one, and I see a big difference in whenever you do it the other way around. You know, offering something for them, not for you. It does make a big difference. For sure.
I think it's especially helpful when we know that our goal really is to get outside of our circle so that we get to where we're booking parties from parties with people that we've never met before. But we're always going to find ourselves in that position to be having to get really creative words together, simple messaging that's appealing to people. Here's a problem we have. So the first one, we talked about the verbiage. But the second one has to do with what do we do when we don't hear back? What are we doing when we don't hear back? So we have two categories I want to address with this. The first one is the people who said to me, yeah, I really want to party, right? So now I've kind of got this list of people hanging out there. Yeah, I really want to party. But I don't really know how I'm going to get that party, right? And so, but people like that, I can keep coming back to over time in a really nice way, showing them the new jewelry, offering a fun theme, hey, sometime when we get around to doing your party, this would be a really fun theme. Or these made me think of you, these new ice bracelets. Or our new crystal collection called Delight is super pretty, and I know you love, the new crystals, whatever new crystals there are. And we can keep engaging the people who said that they wanted a party. They already know our line. They already know that they want to do one. We have to reignite in their brains what it was that's made them say that they wanted to do one sometime soon. Okay? It's a whole separate crowd. But the ones where we're doing cold, in quotes, reach outs to people, and we're using these creative methods of bringing the subject up in the first place, you have to go back to them a second time if you don't hear from them the first time. And here's why. Does anybody here get inundated with all the messages that they get? Text messages, Facebook messages, email messages, Instagram messages. I've got them coming in now. And half the time I don't even know where the message. I have this one friend, Anne. I never know where she messaged me because she'll start me on text and then she'll flip over in the conversation to Facebook Messenger and then she'll flip to email. I'm like, stop. I don't know how to talk to you. You're killing me. And it's a nightmare, right? I love her to pieces, but she's like all over. She's an author. She's like all over the place, and a musician, But think about it. Everybody's running crazy with these messages. Half the time we see them on the fly in the middle of something else. How many times do you check your messages while you're doing something else, like watching a training call? I do it all the time. I'm on training calls. I got my phone here. I'm like looking down to see who just texted me. Well, whoever just texted me is not going to get my full attention. They're not going to get a response from me probably, right? And I just forgot that the Pampered Chef gal asked if I wanted a party. If she got back to me 2 days from now and said, just double checking, make sure you got this, I'd go, oh, right, I was driving or I was in the grocery line or I was feeding the baby. I don't have a baby, but they're gone. They're grown. I was on a training call, didn't see it, whatever. And so we have to give people the benefit of the doubt. We have to meet them where they are. And so this sense of, oh, I'm bothering them, it's not true anymore. We're not bothering them. We're doing our job. We're doing our job. And honestly, what we're really doing is giving them grace. Isn't it nice when people give you grace? When they don't assume that you're going to be perfect and get it the first time? And they don't assume that you should be responding to them the first time? Well, that's how we need to be at all times, is gracious to people. Part of being gracious is understanding that they might have read it and couldn't get back to me. And that's okay, right? So what happens if we go back to them a second time, a couple of days later, and say, just making sure you saw this. Love to connect. To me, that's gracious. That's not bugging. Now, here's stalking. Stalking is every other day for 2 weeks. No. But you can get to where there is kind of a fun, you got to use your sense of humor in this whole business. Because your sense of humor will build bridges in a way that nothing else can, with potential sponsors, with your team members, with hostesses, with customers. Your sense of humor and a lighthearted approach to things is going to make a huge difference. So you can say to somebody, hey, it's Betsey, your sparkle stalker. This might be somebody who's been thinking about booking a party with you. And I've done this too. And it's just great because people, I know they're laughing when they read it. And it totally it diffuses the whole situation. As in, like, I'm so embarrassed I didn't respond to Betsey. No, because Betsey's joking with me. She's fine. I can be fine too, right? Things get awkward when we're awkward. We don't need to be awkward. There's nothing awkward about this. This is not brain surgery. This is fun. Okay. And so what we can do is say something like, hey, it's Betsey, your sparkle stalker. Just circling back around, seriously, if you never want to do a party, it really is okay. Just, keep me in the loop. Let me know if that's the case. And otherwise I'll wait for you forever. Right. Oh, and by the way, here's the new link for the fall catalog. Right. And she will laugh. Another line that we use is, seriously, it's okay if you never want to do a party. I won't put pink flamingos on your front lawn. Right. Again, just be funny, be cute, be the girlfriend. Don't be the scary professional consultant. Be the competent girlfriend. The way that you approach people. Friendly and competent. Okay? Not scary and, good, pushy, right? Oh, here's another clue. If you're worried about being pushy, ladies, you have to believe me. 18 years of experience, I'm telling you the truth. If you think you're pushy, that you might be pushy, you will not be pushy. The pushy ones are the ones who never think to themselves, I'm worried about being pushy. I'm telling you, I've known pushy consultants. I've had a few on my team over the years. It would never occur to them to worry about that. I'm totally serious. So if you're worried about being pushy, trust me, you won't be. Because it's not in you. It's not. But if you've never asked yourself that question, let's talk. Okay. Let's see. All right. So the last thing I want to share with you is when you get a reply from somebody about a party and it's not a flat out yes, you have to send it to Carrie or your upline leader, whoever your leader is. Carrie might be a couple layers up from you. I don't know. You have to. And here's why. The skill set that's required to learn how to respond to those things is not an innate one. It's just not. Because when somebody says to me, oh, no, I can't. We're going to Disney next week. Okay. So the average person would say, that was a no. I got a no. No. And I don't want to be pushy. So I'm just going to say, okay, thanks. Right? As opposed to using your sense of humor. Oh, that sounds like so much fun. Can I go in your suitcase? And then, hey, listen, is it okay if I reach out to you after you get back? Right? She didn't say, no, not ever. I hate you. Or no, not ever. I never want to see this again. Don't ever ask me. She just said she's going to Disney. She's busy. Imagine she's busy. We're all freaking busy, right? She's busier than ever because she's headed to Disney with her 17 children in tow. But, we have to give people grace and know that written communication like that is never complete. Text messages are never the complete thought. They're the first thing that comes to mind, which is no. That's just no, not right now. But it takes a little courage and education to know how to respond to these things. Please go to your upline leader with any response that you get until you feel confident to answer the no, not right now. I really believe that we leave 3/4 of the parties we could have gotten on the table because we didn't respond correctly to the no, not right now. Okay. All right. So now let's say you've got parties and you're walking away from parties without any parties booked, right? You've done a great job host coaching. You've got 6 or 8 or however many women in the room. Everybody's having a great time, but nobody books from you. There are ways to solve that. And so what I want to do is have Carrie share with you as a refining point how she books parties from her parties. And I'll give you this disclaimer, and not to undermine Carrie whatsoever, because the way she does it is brilliant. I have never played a party game in my life. It is to my detriment, I promise you. I have other ways of booking parties from parties, though. And my temperament and my little circle around me, they don't love parties. I have a few groups that do, and when I see that there's a group that does, like, oh, can we play a party? Can we play a game? Then I'm all about playing the game. But Carrie can read those things, and and she's just brilliant at this. So I want you to see how she's doing this, how simple she keeps it. And Carrie, when you book parties from parties, what do you think your average is?
Usually probably two per party.
Right. So think about it. If you're doing one party and you're booking 2 from it, and you do 2 parties and you're booking 4 from those, and you do 5 parties and you're booking 10, what's going to happen to your income and your sponsoring and your team growth? It goes up. If you book 1 party off of each party, you're simply replacing that party. That's a great thing. Can you pat yourself on the back when you do that? It feels great. But
Betsey, sorry, do you do most of yours then? If you don't do the games, do you just do more conversing with them at checkout? Is that primarily?
I do a lot at checkout, and I do a lot around the table, and I do a lot within my presentation about why they would want to do a party.
Okay.
And I use their birth date number as their as the dollar amount that they would pay toward the $19 upcharge.
Gotcha.
So I just have a different method, and it works for us here in this area. Yeah. It's kind of a serious area. They're not, it's kind of weird area that I live in. Northern Virginia is just really weird. They're not playful people. It's all serious stuff here, but they do love parties. And so some of us have a different way of doing it, but I love how Carrie does this. So I want to have you have an opportunity to watch what she's doing. So Carrie, do you mind taking it away?
Yeah. So, and girls, if you want to recap back to this, on the Facebook event, I did post videos from last year I made on this, but everybody has a different way of doing it. And I think you can find some good alternatives too on the training stuff we have on Glam Central. I usually do my purses. I do the dice too. I actually have a little variant with the birth date too that kind of entwines sort of with the dices. It's all on that thing, but probably the easiest one to explain is just my purse game, because that's what I'm used to. And holiday time, I might use eggs for Easter, or I have little plastic cards for Valentine's Day, whatever. I just bought recently, I call them fortune cookies. They're like little Chinese looking things, just to vary it up and have something different. For me, how I do it, and again, everybody has their own thing. I always make somebody take one at the beginning of the party. I walk around the room, or if they're kind of mingling around, depending on the situation, I have them on a tray, and I have them pick one. And I just tell them, this is for later, just don't look inside. So I do my 5-part party presentation, where I vary a little bit with how they recommend is I put my booking offer at the end instead of the middle. So I do my introduction, I do my address the guests, I do my why, my Q&A, and then my booking offer. So everybody's holding on to their little purse or whatever I gave them, fortune cookie, if it was the dice game, it's their envelope, whatever it is. And then at the very end, how I say it to them is everybody has their little purses. And I'm not going to sugarcoat what we're going to do here. We are going to play a game, and it is a booking game. And I make it funny, though. So I'll just say to them, it is a booking game, so I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But I want you to listen. I want you to pay attention, because I'm not going to dupe you into a party. I don't do that. I don't trick people into parties. So this is an optional game. You don't have to play. And the game is called Pass, Play, or Double. So very simply, I'm going to come around and ask each one of you here in the room if you want to pass, play, or double. So if you do not want to have a party, all you have to do is give me your purse back. No big deal, no stink eye. Just give it back to me and you're out. You don't want all this jewelry, that's fine. The next option is to play. Play means you're going to take a chance and you're going to open your purse. So one of 3 things could happen. I have one that says grand prize, and I usually have a birthstone bracelet is what I usually have, like a stretchy April bracelet or something. I'll say one of them happens to have grand prize. If you have grand prize, you get to take the birthstone bracelet home with you, no strings attached. It's yours. The rest of them will have smiley faces or sad faces, and then some words. If you're playing and you open it and you see a smiley face, what do you think that means? And usually they guess right. Sometimes they don't. And usually they'll say having a party with you. And I'm like, yes, that's my smiley face. I'm being happy because you got a party. But you still get whatever's inside, whether it's so much off your order, so much off your shipping. I keep it very simple, by the way. $4 off shipping, $5 off your order. Very simple. What if you open it and you're playing? Again, playing means you're my gambler. You're taking a chance. What if you open it and you see a sad face? What do you think that means? And I'll make a sad face, and usually they guess what it is, but then I'll say, that means me being sad because you don't have a party. That's my sad face, but you still get the prize, whatever it is. So much off your order, so much off your shipping. So that's the gambler. Remember, you could play and get a grand prize. You can get a smiley face and get me and a prize. Or you can get the sad face, no me, but you still get the prize. No matter what, you're getting a prize if you play. Just know if you get a smiley face, you got me. And the last option is double. So if you definitely want to have a party for sure, like you're looking at all this stuff and you want to be a host and get all this jewelry for free, just tell me you're doubling. What that means is no matter what is inside of that purse, you got me, okay? But the incentive of that is everything in there gets doubled. So if it's so much off your order, you get it now, for example. Whenever you host again, you get it at your party. So you get it 2 times over. So basically, if you tell me that you're going to double, you got me no matter what, no matter if there's a sad face, you got me, but whatever's in there, you get twice. So it's an extra incentive to tell me ahead of time you definitely want to do a party. Then I carry the sparkle dates. It was Lynn that introduced us to that, right? Lynn Conway?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I carry that. Then I mentioned that. I hold it up. I have a clipboard with dates I want to follow on my calendar, and they're like within the next 6 weeks typically. And I'll say also, and I kind of joke about it, I'll say these are my sparkle dates. So whether you wanted to get me or not, and if you did and you pick a sparkle date, you get an extra gift at your party if you pick one of these dates. That's in a nutshell how I kind of do mine. The dice is just a little bit different. I have them roll the dice at the beginning of the party, and they get an envelope that corresponds to that number. And I kind of do the same thing. It's called pass, play, or take the deal, but it's kind of the same idea.
Okay.
The other variant I do sometimes is like what you said about the birthday, the day of the month they were born.
Yeah.
The 7th, I take the, or like the 25th, for example, say 2 + 5 is 7. So number 7 would be there.
Yep.
But it's a little variant of that too.
Okay.
I just feel like for myself it works. I feel like I have to. I have everybody take one at the beginning, so everybody has one. So okay. I'm not really giving them an option. I have them take
that because I've seen where they go from person to person to person, and I feel like that's just putting people on the spot.
I feel like too, if you get one person that says no, it makes it easier for everybody else not to take one. So I feel like if I just say, this is just for a game at the end, just hold on to it, and I'll tell you that at the end of the game, And I have girls that are repeaters, and they know what it is. They still play along. I just say, just take it, and they're like, okay, and they know. So that's what I do. That's what seems to work the best for me.
Do you find that those parties usually hold?
Yes, usually. You gotta get your cancellations. You always got to find that. But yes, because I'm not giving them, and that's the one thing, I don't want to give them like a ton of, like a $5 off, $4 off. You don't want to be giving them a ton of stuff right at the party. I leave the little enticer, so if they do cancel on you, didn't lose a lot either. But I give them that little enticer that they'll get a little bit more whenever they have their party, whether it be, the extra $5 or $4, whatever it is. And the sparkle date too. If they hold that sparkle date, they get an extra gift, which by the way, for that, I just do like the cleaning cloths, or I buy on eBay really cheap jewelry organizers. They're like $2 or $3 a piece, like hanging jewelry organizers. That's what I give them.
That's a nice idea.
Yeah, I don't give them anything that's breaking the piggy bank.
Okay.
Even the grand prize doesn't have to be like a birthstone bracelet. You can make it something small. You can make it like, a Touchstone charm and a little jewelry cloth in there. It doesn't have to be anything super expensive.
Mm-hmm.
People just like winning stuff. I don't even tell them what it's going to be whenever they're winning a prize. Whenever I play the game, I just tell them they're going to win something. They don't know.
And the people love little prizes, even if it's just nothing. It's just the concept of winning something.
Yeah.
one thing that I have learned is that in playing a game like this, all you're doing is identifying who is a maybe, somewhere between maybe and yes, who might not have otherwise spoken up or admitted it.
Yeah, I feel like because what you're doing is you're asking everybody in a way that's not, and I have a very big fear of being pushy. So this is kind of my way where I feel like I'm not being pushy because I'm including everybody. But then you're also getting to read people's faces, exactly what you're saying. Yeah, I can tell the thing. I joke with them. I'll say, whenever I get to them and I ask them, I'm like, you're a thinker. I'll come back to you. And I move on to somebody else. Because you can read their faces. They'll be like, and then you start a conversation with that person later, even if they decided not to play. So.
This is another, and so to your point, when I do it, I tend to book mostly at checkout. And one of the things that I'm learning to do is even if they check no, they don't want a party, I still am trying to convince myself to talk to them even so and say, and the line that I like the best for me is, I sure hope you're thinking about doing a party with me sometime.
That's good.
I sure hope you're thinking about doing a party with me sometime. Because that's not in anybody's face. It feels really comfortable to me because, again, I don't want to be pushy either. And I'm not comfortable putting anybody on the spot. And so I've always had to find word choices that I would want somebody to use on me so that I wouldn't feel uncomfortable. And then that way, if it's actually, I really was thinking about it, meanwhile, it might have been a no on their form. A lot of people will check no, but then they end up booking a party after, because it's a one-on-one conversation. By the time they're done, they've had fun. And, we're all stubborn 3-year-olds. We all say no first to pretty much everything. So our guests are the same way at parties. The answer is always no until they can think about it a little longer or maybe even be persuaded into something. So thanks, Carrie. That's really great. The last point that I want to make is that this is all a numbers game. And, out of 50 people, think about it. Out of 50 people, 50 women that how many of them would actually be available and interested in doing a Touchstone crystal party in any given month? Out of 50 women that right? And so we can't be surprised when during our cold reach outs that our numbers feel low. Some days you'll reach out to 5 and book 2. Some days you'll reach out to 10 and book 3. I've had that happen, but I've had times when I've reached out to 20 and booked none. And I had to push to get to the 30 and double back on the first 20, and then push to get to the 40 and double back on numbers 20 to 30, right? The interesting thing is that in the doubling back, I get way more responses than I ever did in that first go round. Way more, 4 or 5 times more responses, because it suddenly, ratchets up the urgency on their side to reply back to us. And so the numbers are everything. Reaching out to as many people as possible. 5 isn't enough, 12 isn't enough. If you want a good sized calendar, 4 parties in a month, for example, which will pretty much get you everything you want in this business, 1 party a week on average. The more people you reach out to, the faster you're going to get those parties booked. Just statistically. And, we think to ourselves, oh, it shouldn't be this hard. Well, it just is. It just is. So let's say to ourselves, okay, this is hard. I'm equal to the challenge. I'm not begging. I'm not asking for a favor. I'm offering all those things we talked about in the beginning. I'm confident that my product line is beautiful. I'm confident that there are people who really want to do a party and will love it. I mean, women really do have a blast at our parties. They really do have a blast. We can say that confidently. And when we can remember that approach, when we're offering this and we offer it enough times, and then we go back and we repeat the offer a second time or the third time for people, we are going to get what we want. And then the hard part will be behind us. Okay. So I just want to encourage you with that. If it feels hard, you're right. If you think you're going to be pushy, you're not. And if you just keep going, you're going to get what you want. It's really true. Carrie is living proof of that. She really is. Carrie, how many parties on average are you doing a month right now?
I usually have about 8 to 10.
And are you booking them mostly from parties?
Yeah, most of them are.
Uh-huh.
Most of them are. This month I've been pushing. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
How many parties out of the 8 or 10 each month do you have to actually reach out for?
Maybe only 1 or 2.
Okay.
Most of them come from parties, but I was just thinking this is very sloppy. I haven't rewrote it yet, but I pulled this off my filing cabinet. This was, I can't even, I'd have to sit down and give you the numbers, how many people I was reaching out to. These are like these names here I'm showing you. These are all people that told me I could check back with them later. So that just shows you right there that August wasn't good. I wrote down their name, and when they told me, I said, can I circle back around to you in August or September? This was towards the end of July, beginning of August. Wrote all their names down, I have to rewrite it. And when I can check back with them again. So that just shows you it wasn't a failed thing, because I still have reach outs for them again. Even if they don't book a party with you right now, if you want it right now, it's still worth it, because now I have reach outs to circle back around with them later. So it's still well worth it.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. So any thoughts or fears? I mean, seriously, just be honest. If you feel like, oh, I can't do this, or your ahas, what resonated? Stephanie's being mighty quiet.
She has herself muted.
Hi. I do have myself muted. I just got back from the beach. That's why I had to join late.
That's okay.
I'm on vacation, and yeah.
Good.
Have fun. You're back, or you just got there?
Well, we're down here. We were at the beach all day. So we just got back for
We're losing you. You sound like you're drunk.
I know. You sound like you had a few too many margaritas.
Yeah.
Your signal is kind of weak there.
Okay, I went outside. Can you hear me?
Yes, that's better.
That's better.
Okay.
Stephanie, do you have a booking tip?
Yes, I do. Don't be afraid to reach out to every single person. Literally every single person, especially when you're at parties. And I'm really good at reading people's expressions, so I can tell when somebody's interested and when they're not interested. But even if you can't tell, it's always good to check in, especially when you're checking out with them, so that they can express to you why they don't want to have one, so you can either address those issues that they have with having parties or something. And a lot of times for me, that's when I end up getting the bookings, is when I suggest to them other places other than their houses to have parties.
Nice.
Because that's the biggest fear around my area, is people don't like to have other people into their houses.
Okay.
Mainly because they just either don't want to clean, or they're too busy, or they just have too much going on, so they don't want people in their house. So for me, I always suggest like maybe doing it in a back room at a restaurant, or doing a winery or something like that. And that's how I get most of my bookings, actually.
That's great. That's a great piece of advice.
Yep.
Nice. Good. Thanks, Stephanie. Who else? Any other thoughts? Fears? Ideas? Carrie, did we miss anything on our list of things that we wanted to talk about?
I don't think so.
I would love to hear how many parties each of you would want additional that you want to book for this month, because we have plenty of time. One thing I want you to understand about August, I think most of you are new enough to not remember last August. You may have been with us for another Double Host Dollars month, but traditionally in Double Host Dollars months, you can continue to offer parties easily until the 26th, 27th of the month, because some of the best parties happen in 3 days. So the last day of August is the 31st. You could book a party on the 28th for the 31st Saturday. Bagels and Bling, Saturday morning, August 31st. on the Wednesday before that. So you can keep booking parties all the way up through. You could, even if you're doing a party on the 28th, you could book one for that Saturday morning because of the double host dollars. So how many more parties do you each want to have on your calendar?
I'd like to have 2.
2 more? Okay. That's great. Me too. Yeah, that's good. Who else? June, do you have a number in mind?
I would like to have at least 3 more this month.
Okay.
Maybe 4.
Okay.
So my launch party didn't go quite as well. I'm still taking orders from that, but
Yeah.
I'd like to get at least 3 more.
That's a great idea. Okay. That's great. You know, a launch party, the way I look at a launch party is that it's the starting gun to the marathon. That's all it is, right? And it was practice.
Yes.
You know, you're in business. That's what your launch party is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations for accomplishing it. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Betsey, anything? I don't know if we've been able to hear you at all where you are.
I don't know.
She might not be able to talk. Stephanie, how many more do you want?
Well, I would like to have like at least 3 more because a lot of the parties that I've been doing this month, I've ended up flipping them. So I've ended up signing girls up, and so I was good with my calendar. I thought my calendar was going to be full, but then I lost a lot of sales by flipping. So I'd like to get at least 3 more.
Okay. Okay. That's a great goal. This is the easiest month of the whole year to get those parties booked. It is. January is usually double host dollars month, and it's a great month. But people are so kind of like drugged from the holidays. I don't know how to explain it. It's like you only have 2 weeks in the whole month, and it's the 15th to the 30th. Everybody's still asleep. August, they're away, but the ones who aren't away are like, where's the fun? So it's good. All right, ladies, any last things? Carrie, any thoughts? Last thoughts?
No, I just like, I really like how you know, just it's all about the reach out, and the second, third reach outs typically where you're going to hear anything. I do the sparkle stalker. I put the little eyeballs. I say the little pink sparkling flamingos. I even found a GIF that was a sparkling flamingo. Like, you know, it definitely, humor helps, you know, because then people aren't thinking you're like sitting there like this, you know, waiting to hear back from them. They know they're lighthearted and they're not, you know, then they're, you know, and you're giving them permission too, like with the pink sparkling flamingos, you know, it's, how is it? It's okay if you're not interested in free blinks. You're almost kind of giving them permission to like, okay, like you can say no, you know, I'm not going to be mad. You know what I mean? So then, but then that still gives you the conversation like no, not now, or no, not ever, you know, where you can kind of dive in a little bit deeper to see if maybe just this isn't a good time, and you can reach out maybe in September. So I rarely hear back, like Betsey said, on the first time. Very rare. It's extremely rare to hear back on the first time. Yeah. So no, I appreciate that because I agree with you on that.
Yeah. Well, hopefully all of this has been an encouragement to you ladies. I would love to see you get exactly what you want in your business because you deserve it. You deserve the confidence boost. And the really cool thing is that once you've held all the parties you wanted to hold in a month, you're going to A, realize that you can do it, and B, see the fruits of your labors and go, man, that was worth what it took to get to it. It's a great feeling to have an excellent month, to have your best month ever. It feels so good. And you deserve that. And that's what we want for you. Our goal is to empower you to get what you want, right? And if you're not, we want to keep helping you unlock it. So have a great week, everybody, and we'll look forward to seeing you all soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.